Hey, what's up everyone? Wolfman here, back at it again with another LEGO Star Wars review. And as the title of the video would say, I am doing a review on a Jedi starfighter, and it's going to be none other than Jedi Master Plo Koon. Now before I get into the review, I'm not going to remind you about what I'm going to be doing and at the last weekend of November. I mean, the other videos have basically said that already. But these last few fighters I'm gonna be doing, it's a total of 5 Jedi starfighters, each one with a different character. And today it's gonna be Plo Koon's, the next one is going to be Mace Windu's, then C-10's, then Obi-Wan's from Episode 2, and Anakin's yellow Ectus 2 interceptor from Revenge of the Sith. So those are going to be the next ones that are going to be coming up, and after that I'm either going to be doing TIE fighters, mainly First Order TIE fighters, or I may be doing Mandalorian fighters. I'm basically going to consist that of 3, 2 of them being from the Clone Wars series, and the other one is actually going to be Din Djarin's N1 from the Mandalorian, or in this case, the Book of Boba. So those are going to be the next few ones that are going to be coming out soon. Quite possibly well before I'm going to be finishing off those by the end of the month. And I'm going to be moving on to other sets. More starships are going to be featured in the Grand Fleet review. So with that out of the way, and without any further ado, onto the review. So here it is, set number 8093, Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter. This set was released back in 2010, has 175 pieces, and has 2 minifigures. Now I'm going to go out now. As always, I'm going to start with doing a quick review, or quick close-up on the minifigures. As you can see in the photo here, we got Jedi Master Plo Koon, the alien species known as the Kildor, which, as you can see as you have seen in the photo, his face is covered with a mask, and of course it's a full mold, so there is no dual face like in any other minifigure. And the other one is an astromech droid. What's this one called? This one's number R7D4. And I gotta say, I love the color scheme on it. I mean, I'm gonna basically joke about this. When I see white and brown like this, I think of a root beer float, which is weird. If anyone wants to judge me, feel free, unless you kind of get the same thoughts from seeing this kind of color combo of brown and white. But for minifigures that were done 12 years ago, these guys are actually pretty neat. And of course, like I said before in other reviews on designs on astromechs, this one was one of the more newer updates where they started doing the full heads on the astromechs. And of course, there is detailing on the back of the head. Sadly not on the back of the rest of the body, and the same for Plo Koon. I mean, there's no detailing on his torsos in the back. But the torso in the front, pretty simple, well designed, although they've kind of changed things up a few. I think in later years they changed things up, but they've only done Plo Koon in the Clone Wars series, which he was most prominently featured, of course, in Revenge of the Sith. He got shot out in this actual starfighter here by Captain Jack in his ARC 170 starfighter. I mentioned that in my review on the ARC 170. If you haven't seen that, then feel free to go check that out, because I actually did mention that as well. So that's just a little bit of Star Wars lore. And of course, Plo Koon does come with his lightsaber. I'm sorry I do not have it on hand, but to those who don't know, he has a blue lightsaber, just like Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I think that is all I can think of at this time on the minifigure. So I'm going to move on to the fighter itself. And I actually like this design. I mean, the color scheme onto the blue and the white. You'd think this would be Anakin's, because R2 is blue and white. His clone troopers, the 501st, are blue and white. So you'd think maybe Anakin would have a starfighter like this, but nope. His fighter has yellow on it. And instead, we have Plo Koon, who has the white and blue starfighter, and this was actually a pretty fun build. I mean, granted, I only built it once, but it was actually a fun build. And there are a few design features that stand out amongst other Jedi starfighters, and one of them is being these 2 tips here that stick out that don't really line up with the rest of the design of it. Of course, this starfighter is basically classified as a Delta 7, and this type of class of starfighter was prominently featured in Attack of the Clones, Episode 2, when Obi-Wan goes to Kamino, which is a future review that's going to be done soon. But anyways, they expanded on that during the Clone Wars, and they gave several Jedi, quite a handful of them, these specific starfighters. Of course, when Episode 3 came along, they switched things up, mainly with Anakin and Obi-Wan with the Ectus 2s, while Plo Koon, like I said before, when he was executed by Order 66, he was in this starfighter when it crashed on Keto Nemodia, the planet in that scene where he got shot down. So he quite literally died in a Delta 7. Anywho's, there is some form of playability. I mean, I would almost want to customize it, but I like it just the way it is. But as I have shown before, again, the top design, which is actually a neat feature, I don't know if there's any significant meanings behind this, but still neat nonetheless. And of course, you got a slot for an astromech to fit R7 in, and of course the cockpit. And I'm going to be honest, the cockpit piece just comes right off, and I kind of wish I had an opening feature, but this was a set made 12 years ago, so some of the features or playability on this are pretty much lacking. But I will go ahead and show you guys the inside. It does show a display, and yeah, even on both sides of the cockpit. So Plo Koon, he actually doesn't sit, he actually stands in this starfighter. It's pretty deep. It goes down pretty far in a starfighter like this, which is actually a neat feature. It's actually pretty neat. And I might as well show you guys the underside. And this sucker actually has landing gear. You got the nose gear here, and you got the rear landing gear in the back. And I got to give it to the designers on this, because of course the gear retract. But one of the neat features, especially the rear, they are basically solid against on the underside of the wings. I mean, you really don't really notice them that much. I mean, I'm sorry if that's a little blurry, but it actually flows quite well. I mean, it doesn't like stick out like in probably some other starfighters. Of course, the sucker comes with a couple of thrusters, which are sadly hollow. Of course, I could easily put some pieces in there to change that if I wanted to. But other than that, I really don't. But in general, the starfighter actually is pretty well neat, and it actually looks quite aerodynamic. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Given that the position of the landing gear, they line up quite nicely, and you really can't notice them that much. And one of the features this sucker does have, even though I don't have it, you can actually fit a lightsaber connecting right here. And does that happen for the bottom? No, it does not. Other starfighter designs, I believe in Mace Windu's, you can actually stick the lightsaber on the underside of the hull. But I never do that, but I just leave the piece there just for aesthetics, because it was in the original design. But yeah, the design is really nice. You could have the option of putting some armaments on it. You could put the stud shooter missiles or so. I mean, they're reasonable size, I think, so definitely will put together starfighter. And I actually would highly recommend it, aside from the cockpit only being basically removable. And one other complaint I would give is this bit back here. I mean, it's a little loose because it's actually held in by that little gray clip there. I mean, that's all that's holding it in. Other fighters, they've actually reinforced it, but in this design, it is sadly a little bit on the flimsy side. So if anyone does have this set, you probably know to handle it a little bit differently, not handle it from the back. Otherwise, it's just going to be going all over the place. But I never had that issue. I don't know if anyone else has. But this is definitely a set I would recommend. Either you find it online or you find it some other places where they sell outdated Lego sets. Like, I'm going to go ahead and throw this name out. I get some of the sets I've gotten before are at a place called Bricks and Minifigs. But I did not get this one there. I actually bought it at retail when it was still available before it retired. But yeah, I actually would recommend this set. I mean, it's well fun. It was a fun build, well put together, structurally settled, and comes with some great minifigures. So I would highly recommend this particular set. And yeah, I believe that would be it. So that was my review on Plo Koon's Shadow Starfighter, and if you happen to like that video, please feel free to leave a like, and I would like to hear some feedback from anyone who comes across this channel by leaving a comment down below. And if you happen to be new here, if you want to see more of my reviews that are going to be coming up, then feel free to come join the Wolfpack by hitting the red subscribe button down below, and tune in for more reviews. And like I said in the intro, even if you made it this far, the next one is going to be Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter. Then I'm going to be doing Say C-10s and Obi-Wans and then Anakins, and then that'll be finishing off Republic era Starfighters. I'm going to be moving on to either Mandalorian or First Order. Which one I'll go for, I really don't know. But you guys will know when the review when one of them comes out after the last Jedi Starfighter review. So I believe that will be it, and all that's left for me to remind you that Jesus loves you more than Elmo and Barney, and I'll see you guys next time.